I want to give you an example, right?
Yep.
So this is a different example, and this is like a really relevant example. There are factions of people in the left, right, in regards to the situation that's happened with Sheikh Hamza, in regards to some of his stances, political stances, right? So one is the idea that the people that are oppressed need to work on themselves spiritually. That's like a very, if you take it in the American context, that's what some white nationalists say to black people when they're being
Sounds
oppressed.
like a very liberal idea.
Yeah.
And Sheikh Hamza was actually under scrutiny because, from what I remember, he said that black people need to work on family units. So it's all interconnected.
So he looks like he sounds like Jordan Peterson.
He literally straight from the playbook.
Copy paste from
Yeah.
the
Literally.
liberal.
Okay. Yeah.
So isn't that so? What's our take on that sort of situation?
I mean, yeah, this is where you got to be like.
Is he like,
again?
because
So
he's the Islamic tradition. Like you see as him taking from the Islamic
And
tradition.
people projecting ideas, right? Or is this the case? Maybe you'll disagree. Do people project political ideas that they've borrowed from Western, Western origins or Western philosophies, political philosophies, and then back project that onto the tradition?
possibly, and I think there's a few strands here, but it's a really good example because I think you take that specific argument about really, and in the left-right sort of spectrum, it's an argument about whether the problems in society that we can see are best dealt with by identifying them as structural and therefore dealing with them as problems of society, and you need some sort of radical change. Vis-a-vis, it's more about individual responsibility and victim mentality. And
That's
blah,
the
blah,
heart of like Muslim discourse at the moment when it comes to
Is
these
it?
like at the current times. I think there's
there
a
are
big
parallels.
divide.
I think there are a lot of parallels here, and maybe we can come to them as we speak more specifically about some of the things in the Muslim discourse. But I think that particular argument, this is the point. What's it doing? How is that argument operating when it comes from Jordan Peterson and people of that ilk, and likewise on the other side, right? How are they working? And again, you pluck that out and put it into an Islamic context. The question's still going to be, what's your broader politics? You see, so I think it's not that for someone like Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, it's not the argument alone that leads some people to identify him as conservative or problematically conservative, right? It's the fact that along with that argument, he's got a certain politics, right? Where so happy to work with the UAE. He's happy to sort of join these peace forums.
It's symptomatic.
Trump calls for this Human Rights Commission. He's sort of going to go in and put the case for Islamic conception of human rights, or whatever the case may be. So that's my point. Like there's always a broader context, and it's never the particular argument. You could take a particular argument if you thought it was good, but if your broader politics, your broader philosophy, theology was very different, no one's going to say you're right wing, right?
Yeah.
But for me, the core of this point would be: don't be fooled by the apparent argument. Ask a deeper question. So I'm not sure if we're going to come to this later on, but when you hear someone saying, take personal responsibility, that sounds who can don't always act like the victim. Take personal responsibility. Get up. Be diligent. Work hard.
Yeah,
it sounds good. Sounds like what's wrong with that? That's Islamic. Yeah. But if you put it in context, it's really an argument when it comes to people like Peterson and others. It's really an argument that you can't separate from the fact that he's saying he's shielding the structural oppressions in saying that. He's shielding and reflecting away from.
He's denying and refuting their existence.
Them. Now, do you want to do that? You don't want to do that, right?
He's inferring that, but he's not explicitly saying that? Is he inferring that?
I think in the context, I think in the context, it becomes pretty explicit.
Okay.
People, what's the other guy's name? Ben
Shapiro?
Yeah, Ben Shapiro. I think they've been pretty explicit. But again, the point is, these people are very quite, apparently in that left-right framework. And so it's part of the thing. It's part of the overall framework, and this is the point. That's when it becomes problematic. But I'm just using this as an example to say, don't be fooled by the argument on the surface, right? Look at it within the broader perspective. And this is on both sides. I'm not saying this on the right as well. Likewise on the left. If the left is saying, "Oh, everyone's equal, all life is the same," right? There's something deeper. That's tied to a certain type of moral philosophy, right? And you got to ask, you got to think about that. But my point is the same. It's not going to be any one or two arguments that you take because they're good. It's how you fit them within your own politics or philosophy, and what is your own politics or philosophy, right? And I think that's why it's the fundamentals that are more important.
Yeah.